There's also a chat feature. There's also a chat feature towards the bottom. You can go ahead and enter a question you have in chat. We may not be able to see that during the presentation, but we will definitely get to your questions at the end. So without further ado, I will pass it over to Amy, and I will be sharing my screen.
Thank you very, very much. I just first, again, want to express my excitement to share this information. Our last first look presentation. We've had a great group of people leading up until today. We're excited to share this for the last, not the final time, we'll probably share it more and more, but I just do want to welcome you. This is the moment that we have all been waiting for. It's time when you'll finally learn all the specifics about Mosaic Concierge Living, the details. You'll receive the pricing and the floor plans and other information, and you'll be in position to consider whether this should be part of your future plans. So again, I'm Amy Ferrari. I'm the Director of Marketing and Sales with Mosaic Concierge Living. I'd like to introduce our teams here. That I have Shauna White, who's our marketing coordinator, who most of you have spoken to or emailed with. Janice Cohn and Sandra Steves are our residency counselors. And with us here also is Ames Allen, who is with Greenbrier Development. And so together we have been really working behind the scenes, getting all of this prepared for you, and we're very excited to share it. So, also before we dive in with a lot of details, there will be a little questionnaire after our question and answer form. So please stay online and fill that out. It's going to give us a little idea of where you are in your decision-making process after you have seen the information, and that will help us move forward into the next steps. So here's the review of how today's presentation is going to work. I'm going to touch on just who we are, Mosaic Concierge Living, Mosaic Senior Life. We're going to go through the floor plans, the fee structures, the charter member benefits, next steps, and the questions. So I think that is a good agenda for today. So, and I understand it's a lot of information we're going to be giving you. For the next few weeks, Janice, Sandra, and I are available to chat with you, all your questions, and try to go through this, helping you move through this process as well. And, we have been talking with a lot of people, and it's an exciting time for us. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to pass this over to Ames, and she's going to give you a little bit of a recap and a review of the big picture and oh no, sorry, Ames, I'm doing this. Sorry. Pardon me. So who is Mosaic Concierge Living? So again, we are a not-for-profit life plan community, Fairfield County's only faith-based not-for-profit life plan community. We'll be offering independent living, assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing, as well as a life care coordination team, which is something that's very unique to other communities. This is a team that will be working with you from the moment you move in, and maybe it's a 1 or 2 time touch base during the first couple of years. But if something changes, you have somebody that is an advocate for you and somebody that is working with you to make sure that you're receiving all the appropriate services and care that you need. We are conveniently located in Central Stamford, easy access to transportation, hubs, cultural destinations, including New York City. So we are a life plan community, commonly referred to as a continuing care community. We're luxury focused, maintenance free focused, featuring a wide spectrum of unique on-site programming, events, clubs, and interest groups. And we have a wonderful partnership for lifelong learning with UConn Stanford, which means that any of our members of Mosaic Concierge Living can go to UConn Stanford and audit a class for free. And we expect to have professors and programming come in from UConn Stanford to the community as well for your enjoyment and for your continuing education as well. So Mosaic Concierge Living offers so many amenities and services, but also offers you that security, the security that comes with that peace of mind, having a plan in place that addresses all of the what ifs, all of that unpredictability that life can bring. And by choosing Mosaic Concierge Living, you will not have to worry. Mosaic Concierge Living has been a plan and vision of Mosaic Senior Life for over 10 years, and now we're excited to bring that rich history to Stanford. Mosaic Concierge Living is brought to you by Mosaic Senior Life, which was formerly Jewish Senior Services, located on Park Avenue in Bridgeport, and formerly the Jewish Home for the Elderly. So a lot of people of Fairfield, a lot of people are familiar with both of those entities and iterations of the Jewish Home, but now we are Mosaic Senior Life. It represents over 50 years of award-winning faith-based service in Fairfield County, excellent care for our members and residents that live at the organization, and we're the only nonprofit life plan community. We are part of the Mosaic family that's dedicated to our community and designed for you. So we've worked together over the past year to get to this point, and we're very excited to give you all the details about our new community. And first, Ames is going to kind of give you that review of life care and the importance of having the plan. So over to you, Ames.
Thanks. So we are so happy to present you all of this information. As you might recall from some of our previous conversations, one of the largest benefits that we are offering at Mosaic Concierge Living is that life care contract. And that life care contract is something that provides you the most comprehensive plan for your future at predictable and significantly discounted monthly fees, should you ever need those services. I'm going to touch on the pricing features, and you're going to get that in the binder that is mailed to you overnight. So you're going to have all of the information that you need in order to take a look and make a decision on if Mosaic Concierge Living is right for planning your future. One of the things that is also a benefit to you is that significant savings. There's a lot of other benefits. By choosing a plan at Mosaic Concierge Living, it allows you something that we know is really important to all of you, which is control. The control of having the peace of mind, the control of deciding what services and when you're going to get those services if you ever need those in the future, while enjoying a lot of amenities and services while you're still active and engaged. The other benefits that come with a life care community is that connectedness, the friendships, the opportunity to continue to learn and grow, and all of that benefits that are an aspect of healthy aging on campus. And you're going to hear about some of those things in just a moment. But the goal is really making the rest of your days in retirement as fulfilling and healthy as possible. The other benefits that are provided at Mosaic Concierge Living and that sense of community and connectedness are simply icing on the cake. And you're going to hear a lot about those in just a moment. But first, I want to touch on what is concierge living. What does that mean? Truly, when we design Mosaic Concierge Living, it's the idea that impeccable service is always at your service. The ability to have the concierge team here and available to handle the little details so that you can stay busy enjoying the excitement of retirement, but also knowing that you have that support should you need it with little things such as and little details in your everyday life, such as maybe wanting to go to a show and securing theater tickets, or maybe you have a last minute trip to the Caribbean and you need a lift to the airport, Or it might be that last minute dinner party that you're invited to and you need the concierge team to pick up a bottle of wine or a gift for a birthday party. So I want to remind you some of the Mosaic concierge living interior spaces and the amenities. So not only are you enjoying all of those things within your own private residence, but also some of the common spaces and amenity spaces that you have to enjoy. And you can take a look here at this information that's also going to be in your binders that you receive either this afternoon or tomorrow morning. I think they'll arrive tomorrow morning, but you're going to see a lot of these spaces in just a moment. Another benefit of the design at Mosaic Concierge Living is the exterior space. So what's truly unique is that outdoor space around our 15-acre campus that has so much for you to do and enjoy, that promotes that healthy living aspect and also promotes friends and family coming to visit, grandkids coming to visit, and really enjoying your new home. For those of you that are from Stanford, you certainly know the benefits of the attractions that are all conveniently located in Stanford. I don't need to tell you about that. For those of you from some of the surrounding cities, there's a lot to do and enjoy around Stanford. We are centrally located here within Stanford, so there's a plethora of things for you to do and enjoy. But we also know that not only are the local amenities and services things that you'll enjoy by the convenient location, but there's a lot of culture and amenities that extend past the local area, whether that be enjoyed by a short drive or with the travel and transportation group set up with concierge and programs team. So needless to say, there's more than enough to keep somebody fully engaged in the close proximity to your own home. Many of you have expressed that through conversations that we've met with you, that you very much enjoy international and domestic travel, as well as some of those closer travel options. You can see that not only is Greenwich about a 10-minute drive, but we have 3 international airports that are within an hour. We have the Long Island Ferry. We have the city, give or take an hour or so to enjoy. And then the Hamptons is maybe a day trip or an overnight weekend trip away from Mosaic Concierge Living. So still a lot of those of you that are, we know, enjoying and will enjoy travel. I'm going to pass it back over to Amy, and she's going to really dive into Mosaic Concierge Living Campus itself.
Thank you so much, James. So what I do like to kind of give you a snapshot of our campus, and when we've been planning this presentation and putting all of the really fun things together that we're going to show you, it became crystal clear to me how exceptional every detail and thought has been put into Mosaic Concierge Living. And I have been so privileged to have the opportunity to build relationships with many of you. And I can envision you all moving in, settling in, and then really taking advantage of these spaces and in and around the community. So I'm excited to show you what's next. But what I do like to kind of briefly touch on is the site plan. And in the center of the site plan is our main building. And I think Ames is going to use the arrow to kind of circle around. It's the main building of the community. And then on to the top left of the slide is our manor buildings. Those are two buildings that are a little bit separated from the main building, but are connected through an underground corridor. And as you can see, the site plan offers so many outdoor amenity spaces that, again, we think is pretty unique to the Stanford area, that we are building that park-like campus. And the site plan the site plan is in the binder that you'll be receiving. I just want to make sure realize that we have a nice, beautiful binder that has all of the information in this, and we'll keep kind of reminding you that it's all there. Don't worry. But we are going to show you a virtual tour of the amenity spaces of the community. Thank you, Ames.
Are you seeing it, Amy? Amy, are you seeing it?
I'm just seeing the opening slide. I did start seeing the video, but then it stopped. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's restart it. And just chat with me if you're not seeing it.
I will. No, I'm seeing it. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look at Mosaic Concierge Living from a bird's eye view. Again, we are situated on 15 acres of property. Along the top right corner of the property runs Long Ridge Road, and that is where you would enter into the community, coming into the motor court. As you can see, we have a very large main building with the center courtyard, and all along the community are walking trails with exercise stations. You can see a pickleball court at the top left-hand side of the image, as well as raised garden beds. If you go along the ring road, there's a bocce court. And then, of course, the manor buildings are located in the in the forefront of this picture. So just wanted to give you a little bit of kind of a background. There's a first floor clubhouse that connects the manor buildings as well. And then this is a view of driving up to the main building. The overall architectural design is traditional elegance with a coastal flair. We're using color tones and textures that hint at coastal influences. Our design cues are taken from surrounding landscape and the community. And interior, there will be a layering of unique furnishings, color, pattern, and textures within open and spacious rooms with abundant natural light and exterior views. And then this is a peek at the view of the courtyard of the main building, which has lovely seating areas, a beautiful water feature, and greenery to enjoy. I envision coming out, somebody coming out and reading books, a book here, or chatting with friends over a cup of coffee on a beautiful spring day with all the plantings flowering. I just think this is a lovely, peaceful area of the community. Some of you may enjoy a morning pickleball game with friends. And here you can see one of the exercise stations. And then also just beyond the pickleball court is our raised garden beds for those who enjoy gardening. And then the putting green. I envision groups of friends coming back from a golf game and either practicing what went wrong or figuring out what went right, figuring out what went right, but all in fun. And I just think this is a great feature that we are putting onto the campus of Mosaic Concierge Living. Product center. This I think is just absolutely beautiful. The design approach for the pool, the men's and women's sauna, changing rooms and showers is to invoke a calming spa-like feel and encourage health and wellness. This is where you would enjoy water aerobics or you'd come down to swim laps. But as you can see, our furnishings are resort style furnishings. And then you also may want to take a soak in the hot tub. And we've heard from many of you that health and wellness is important to you, which is why we've designed this area, which will be staffed with fitness instructors that can support you in utilizing the equipment and develop an exercise plan so that you can meet your fitness goals. Our casual dining is visually connected to lounge spaces and invites members in to experience aromas from the open hearth menu options or delicious soup and sandwich offerings. The interior here is fresh and bright with a touch of whimsy and nostalgia. And then the cocktail lounge and adjacent elevated dining are situated to allow natural light from the central courtyard and al fresco dining patio. This area is where you might enjoy a glass of wine or a cocktail before being seated for dinner. And here's the more formal restaurant, which offers waitstaff service and an elevated menu for lunch and dinner, offering a variety of options from appetizers to entrees and desserts. There's a variety of seating options and table configurations that offer choice, as well as options for private dining or chef's table experience. Also included is an exhibition plate finishing window where members can enjoy their meal and view the action of the chefs at work. The event center in our community is really a central place for members to enjoy. It's naturally adjacent to the cocktail lounge and elevated dining and commercial kitchen. So we can utilize those spaces to cater events for meetings and performances. This room can be divided into 2 spaces as the need arises. And the space has high ceilings, elegant lighting, attention to acoustics, and features authentic Jerusalem stone accent wall at the elevated stage area. Large groups of members would gather here for parties and for performances, but you'd also be able to reserve this space for your own private party if you had a special anniversary you were celebrating or a birthday. And then the club room is located on the 4th floor. It has an outside covered terrace overlooking the courtyard. Again, this I envision groups gathering for either a book club or a technology class or just a social event. But again, these spaces are for members to enjoy at their leisure. We will have programming be in these spaces as well. So just to give you a recap of Mosaic Concierge Living, the community will have 168 luxury residences with a 42-unit health center, including assisted living, memory support, and skilled nursing and rehabilitation. And then here is, as promised, what you have been waiting for, the floor plans. I always feel like we need a little drum roll effect here because I know we've been promising these to you and we're excited to share them. So in the main building, there will be 133 total residences. 17 of the 22 floor plans are housed in the main building. We will be offering 1 bedroom, 1 bath to 2 bedroom, 2.5 bath plus a den, ranging from 849 square feet to just under 2,200 square feet. The floor plans are identified through local town and neighborhood names. There's a lot to choose from. I'm only going to be showing you a few of them, but rest assured you will receive them all in your binder tomorrow. We will get those sent out to you after this program. So let's begin. Okay, first, before we walk through the floor plan, I do like to point out some common features in each floor plan that we've thought a lot about. First of all, every residence will have a concierge closet. This area is where, while you are out enjoying the activities and programming of the community, this is if you have a package delivered or your dry cleaning got dropped off, the concierge service would bring these up to your residence. So you don't have to worry about a package sitting in the mail room or something like that. That would be delivered up to your concierge closet. It is a secured closet that you have the keys for. And on some of our larger residences, there is access to that closet from the interior of the residences. Another feature that in every residence is the foyer. This is our welcome home space, something that we feel is just that feeling that we all like to go home to and have the place where we're like, okay, we're home. Let's kick our shoes off. Let's hang our coats up and just you're home. So that's a feature that I really love about all of our floor plans. And then each floor plan also has a outside area, either a patio or a balcony, depending on if you're on the first floor or on any of the other floors. And then one more feature is in every primary bedroom, we have made sure that a king size bed can, and with 2 end tables, can fit in every primary bedroom. We know how hard it is to downsize from king size to queen size, so we don't want you to have to do that. So let's walk through the Sono. This is our 1 bedroom, 1 bath residence. It ranges between 849 to 869 square feet. As you enter into the residence, you walk into your foyer, you kick off your shoes, and to the left, you have a coat closet and our washer and dryer. They are full-size washer and dryers. This residence features a stackable full-size, I want to stress that, it's full-size washer and dryer. So coming into the residence, you would enter into your kitchen, and this, as you can see, is an open floor plan. You have a center island with an eat-in counter, a lot of counter space. Every residence is furnished with a full-size refrigerator, dishwasher, microwave, and a cooktop and cooktop and oven, but a lot of beautiful counter space, so lots of space there. Going into your living room, again, this is a very open floor plan. So as you can see, there's enough furniture configurations to be able to bring a nice, comfortable living room. And then entering into your primary bedroom, again, large enough for that king size bed. You'd go in, you'd walk into your walk-in closet, and you have a walk-in closet plus an additional closet for long hanging clothes, and into your primary bathroom, which is a fully tiled bathroom, by the way, and with a walk-in shower. When you are, sorry, thank you, Ames. Every bathroom also comes with a linen closet too for storage. Our next floor plan we'll feature is the Wilton floor plan. This is a 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It is just under 1,100 square feet. Entering into your foyer, to the left is your powder room for guests. What I love about this floor plan is the unusual triangular shape of it. It's so open and wide and spacious. It does have a two exposure view. But here again, as you can see in your kitchen, a lot of counter space and an Eden island. If you like to bring a dining table, there's space for a dining table. And then you have your living room. But this nice, open, spacious floor plan is really, really inviting. And here you go into your primary bedroom suite. Again, a nice sized bedroom with a large walk-in closet, and into your primary bathroom, a tiled bathroom. One thing I do like to point out, and I will point out in a minute also, but just remember, just shortly after construction, you will meet with one of us and our move-in coordinator, and you would have a choice of all of your finishes that I'll talk about in a few minutes, but you will be personalizing your own residence as charter members. So moving on to the Roxbury, this is our 1-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and now we've added a den. This is just this is 1,162 square feet. So again, entering into your foyer, and you have, this also features side-by-side washer and dryer with a walk-through hallway into a powder room. Moving into your foyer, to the right of this floor plan is your den. So a 10 by 8-foot den. A lot of people would like to have a library, or perhaps you use this as an exercise room. The kitchen is a U-shaped kitchen, but it is open to the living area. And so again, really open, spacious. You're still part of the party if you're in the kitchen, not to worry. And then into your primary bedroom. And what I do love to point out is this very large walk-in closet, and then a separate bathroom. So you have a separate door for your primary bathroom, and a lot of counter space in this one, and a walk-in shower. Of course, that lovely linen closet. And then moving to the New Canaan, this is our largest of the 22 floor plans that we are offering. It is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath with a den. It ranges between 2,178, 2,198 square feet. One thing I like to point out with this floor plan is the den is an optional floor plan during construction. So if you have a large family and want to just have a larger living room, because you expect to have gatherings, that den does not have to be there. There's an option in the binder of floor plans to show you the living space without the den. But as you walk into the residence, you come into your foyer, and you can either take a left to drop your groceries off in the kitchen, or you can go straight through to the living room. So that is a Eden kitchen, large enough space for a dining table, open floor plan again, very large balcony here. And your and then you have a nice size powder room for guests as well. This is you are walking into your primary bedroom. You have a very nice size walk-in closet with a separate powder room and double sinks for couples, and a separate water closet as well in the primary suite. And then your secondary bedroom and suite is very spacious as well. We're going to show you a video of one of the floor plans, and focusing on the finishes of the residence that you'll have a chance to select. Okay, so this is the Wilton floor plan, and what I really want to point out is noticing the finishes. This beautiful sleek cabinetry in the kitchen, the beautiful pendant lighting over the counter, over the center island. You will have a choice of lighting. You'll have a choice of quartz countertops, and engineered hardwood flooring. The windows in this residence is just wonderful. It's a 2-view exposure. All windows will come with window shades, so you won't have to worry about privacy when you first move into the community. You can add drapes as you like or not, but you will have those window shades that are installed before you move in. You do bring your own furniture, so when you are selecting your finishes, you can personalize that to your color palette and scheme. And then the bedroom, again, in the Wilton, a lot of large, beautiful windows, but really stressing on the space that you have to fit that king-size bed in and the furniture. So it's a nice large bedroom. And then the bathroom, I really love the detail that we are working on for your finishes that you'll select. That's a tiled backsplash that is standard. And again, you will have choice of tile on the flooring and countertop, the shower finishes as well, the cabinetry colors and tones. What I love also is this lighted mirror. I've already put that on my list of things that I want to improve in my home. So I just think that's going to be a very complimentary feature in every bathroom as you're getting ready to go out or to go down to dinner. So I'd like to go through the level plans and just familiarize you how you would be utilizing the level plans. As you can see to the right of the slide is the description of all of the floor plans that are located on each level. They are color coded to the level plan. And so you would be selecting, the floor plan, what you like, and then you can identify where it is located in the community. On the first level is also where our skilled nursing and rehabilitation is. That's part of our health center wing, and you'll see on the other levels what is located on each level. Level 2 and level 3 are similar as far as floor plans. What is different in our health center area is our assisted living household. So we have level 2 and level 3 of assisted living. We have 1 and 2 bedroom residences for assisted living. And then level 4 is a partial floor plan. So on the right of the building is where residences are. In the center, overlooking the courtyard is where that clubhouse is located, as well as an art studio. And we will have 2 guest rooms on this level as well for use. One thing I like to point out also is on each side of the community are elevator banks. So there's 2 elevators in the main building, one located here and the other one located there. So anywhere you live in the community, there is an elevator bank that's easy for you to get down to the main level. And then our terrace level, this is a partial underground level. So the underground parking garage is located here. And that is where we would have our electric vehicle charging stations, our valet service. We'll have a room to store bicycles, and each residence will have an assigned parking spot. But above ground is where our health and wellness center is, our salon, our health clinic, our aquatic center. There will be a fitness lawn just outside of the health center. But on the terrace level, above ground, obviously, is where our memory care household is, with its own secured outside patio. So shifting over to the manor residences, there's 35 residences within these 2 buildings, connected by a clubhouse on the first level. We have 5 unique floor plans here, offering 2-bedroom, 2-bath to 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath plus a den, ranging from just a little over 1,400 square feet to just a little over 2,000 square feet. I'm going to show you 2 of these floor plans, and then we'll see a short virtual tour. So the Scarsdale is one of my favorites. This is a nice large floor plan. What I love about this one is that both bedroom suites could actually be primary suites. Of course, we labeled one primary, one secondary, but that would be your choice. This is, again, another optional den feature. We're showing it without a den. And so that is in the living area would be where a den would be added if you chose to add in a den. It does have a nice open floor plan, that U-shaped kitchen counter with a lot of counter space, a large eat-at countertop or counter island, and a bay window if you're on, I believe it's the 2nd and 3rd floor, but your own private balcony as well. And then the Greenwich is our largest residence in the manor buildings. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath plus a den. This is just over 2,000 square feet. Immediately our eye goes to that beautiful circular dining room we're showing. It does have a ribbon of windows that surrounds the area. Of course, we're showing it as a dining room. You have a choice to have it be whatever you want it to be. It does go right out to your balcony. And again, this is just one of those beautiful, large, open floor plans, kitchen overlooking, into the living room. You do have a den in this residence. So if you had a Peloton bike or if you had an office, it's the possibilities are endless on how you choose to furnish it and utilize this space. So we're going to show a virtual tour of one of the floor plans, and we will chat in a minute. Okay, so again, just to remind you, you will have the opportunity to personalize your residence as charter members. We'll be presenting shortly after construction begins, selections for you to choose, 3 color schemes that are thoughtfully coordinated. But remember, as charter members, you have the $5,000 for upgrades if you want to change anything out. I personally think a lot of our standard features are already upgrades, but that's going to be up to you. You'll get choice of cabinetry, knobs and pulls for the cabinets, lighting, backsplash, etc. So there's so much to choose from. We have, again, seeing the sleek countertop, a sleek cabinetry, quartz countertops, that beautiful pendant lighting, and the windows. This features, again, a 2 exposure view. Again, all the windows come with window shades, so you won't have to worry about that, and reminding that you do bring your own furnishings, so you're going to make this residence your own home. So moving on to the bedroom. Oh, sorry. We'll just go through, it's kind of different views of the living area. And so the bedroom, again, this is a nice spacious bedroom, as I pointed out, looking at the floor plan. Both bedroom suites could be primary bedrooms. They're that large. And you do have walk-in closets and this beautiful bathroom. This one features a double sink with those 2 lighted mirrors. I'm a little jealous of that. A separate closet room and a separate water closet. But notice the cabinetry with so much storage, all those drawers and cabinets in there as well. And don't forget, you still have a linen closet to store your sheets and towels. So looking at the level plans, one thing I do like to point out is that every residence in the Manor East or Manor West are corner units. So you have 2 exposures for, on 2 sides of the residence. As you can see, the layout for the Manor residence, it allows a little more privacy and seclusion, a little exclusive with the clubhouse that, we believe will become a nice gathering area. There's an underground garage as well with a corridor connecting to the main building. The clubhouse will have a living room setting, as well as that's where you receive your mail as well. So level 2 is a bit of the same. Again, each Manor East and Manor West have their own elevator banks, so no worry about that. Just 5 residences on each floor. So it is a bit quieter compared to the main building. Manor West does have 4 floors, where Manor East has 3. So I'd like to thank you for your attention. I'm going to shift it over to Ames. She's going to talk about a little details about pricing, and I'm looking forward to hearing your questions.
Thank you. So I know that you've anxiously been awaiting all of the details on the pricing. And I want to start with talking a little bit about we're going to cover 2 different price features, the entrance fee and then the monthly fee. So just to remind you, the entrance fee is something that is a one-time fee. So that is paid when you move into the community. I will talk with you in just a moment about the process of reserving a residence, but just to summarize, we have 3 entrance fee financial plans that we are offering, which is a 0% refundable, a 50% refundable, and a 90% refundable. That is actually shifted. One of the benefits that you have received by placing a deposit early on is that you were assured you would be given, instead of that 90% refundable, a 95% refundable contract. So that is exclusively reserved for you all, that you secured as a priority member. Becoming a charter member means that you reserve a specific residence. So there's 2 benefits that you have secured should you choose to become a charter member. One is a 5% discount off of the entrance fees. So in your binder, you're going to have 2 different pricing sheets. One is a standard price sheet for those folks that are not charter members. The second is the charter membership pricing. So you've received 5% discount off of the standard entrance fees. In addition, that 90% refundable contract that you see on the standard price sheet is actually a 95% for you all. So you're getting not only the savings of 5% on the front end, but you would be given the 5% savings on the back end should you choose that 90% plan. So I want to touch on a little bit and talk more about how this works. Your packet and brochure has all of the information on every single floor plan. So there are 22 different floor plans. We showed you several, but I'm using 4 different samples here. So let's just take the Sono, which is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. Each residence has 3 different price points based on the refundability. And they have a range. That range depends on 3 things. One is the exact square footage, because some of the residences offer a bay window. So exact square footage is part of what that range involves. The second and third items are the view and the location. So again, based on the location, based on the view, based on the exact square footage, there is a range. So on the 0% refundable plan, let's just take a peek at this. For the Sono options range from $499,000 to about $527,000. That 0% refundable plan means that that amount amortizes over the first 4 years that you live at the community. So after a 4-year period or more, that amount is not refundable. So if you were to move out prior to the 4-year mark, you would have some percentage of refundability, basically that amortizes down over a 4-year period. The second option on that same floor plan, if you were to choose a 50% refundable plan, is paying a little bit more. So on this plan, it's $664,000 up to about $701,000. And what that means is that it amortizes down over a 3-year, 9-month period to no less than 50% of that amount refunded to you or your estate someday. So again, you are not getting any less than 50% of this amount should you choose the 50% refundable plan. If you were to move out prior to the 3-year, 9-month, you would be getting more than 50%. It just depends on the length of time you have lived there. The third option, which I would say is probably the most popular, just because of the financial structure, as well as that extra 5% you're receiving on the back end, means that you would pay a little bit more on the same Sono residence, $831,000 to about $877,000, but you know that you would be getting no less than 90% of that back to you or your estate when you leave the campus. So again, this dollar amount here in this column for every floor plan means that you would be getting 95% of that amount back. So you can see, I'm just going to touch on the Greenwich, which is the largest of the manor residences. On the 0% refundable, it's around 1.2 million, again, amortizing over a 4-year period. And then on the 95% refundable, you could pay a little bit over 2 million on that same floor plan and know that you're getting 95% of that back to you or your estate. So again, it's the nest egg. Everybody's situation is different, but I would say that 95% refundable tends to be the most common, most popular. If there are 2 of you in the residence, so many of you are couples, how does it work if there are 2 of you? So there is an entrance fee for that second person to get the life care benefit for that second person. Again, that's the discounted healthcare services down the road, should you ever need that. Again, that depends on the refundability contract, but you would basically take that as a flat fee added to any of the residences that have a second person. So again, it doesn't matter the size of residence, this is just layered on top of the entrance fee, depending on the refundability. 0% refundable for a second person is $45,000. That's been discounted 5%, up to $75,000. If you were to choose the 95% refundable, again, that is 95% refundable to you or your estate someday. So that gets layered into the entrance fee. So how does it work when you become a charter member? So to become a charter member means that you have reserved a specific residence. And one of the benefits that you've secured is that you are able to choose in order of your deposit date and priority position, select a residence. We will I'll talk in a moment about how we'll begin those reservation appointments. But when you reserve a residence, you would place a 10% deposit on whatever entrance fee you are reserving, up to $150,000. So the max we would be collecting to reserve a residence is $150,000. That goes into an escrow account that is in your name. It is an interest-bearing account, and it is held at M&T Bank up until you move in, essentially. The balance of the entrance fee, whatever entrance fee of the size that you have secured, is due upon move-in in 2027. The entrance fees that I've gone over are in 2027 dollars. So when you are reserving that residence, you know that that entrance fee is secured for when you move in. That's not changing at all, regardless of if prices change of entrance fees for folks in the future. The reservation deposit that you are holding in an escrow account is fully refundable with the interest that you have accrued during that time at any time for any reason. So what it allows you to do is put a plan in place to reserve a specific residence and lock in a number of benefits. The monthly fee, I want to shift over to the monthly fees. To remind you, the monthly fees cover the operational expenses of the community, the services and amenities that are included that you're getting living at Mosaic Concierge Living. The monthly fee begins when you move into the community. As one of the benefits you've secured as a priority member, and when you reserve a residence, is that you are getting your first 2 months free. So that's a great benefit that you've reserved as well by being among the first to hear about us. And the services included, I just want to recap: flexible dining dollars. So while Amy mentioned the various dining venues, you are getting a $750 dining allowance per person to use across all of the dining venues off of the menus. And there's a lot to choose from. It works out to an average of 1 meal a day. Those dining dollars can certainly be used however you'd like. You could use them for a week straight, eating every meal. You could use them for dinner every night, or breakfast and lunch every day. They can also be used for friends, family, and guests that come, or for individual private celebrations. You also have weekly housekeeping and linen service. So someone's coming to your residence, doing laundry, changing your bed linens, and taking care of all the housekeeping. Utilities are all included. So water, electricity, heating, air conditioning, streaming services, internet services, that's all included with your monthly fees. You have concierge services that we touched on, as well as valet parking. Everybody is getting one parking spot reserved in the garage parking per residence. I know many of you as couples have 2 cars. You can either use surface level parking that we have surrounding the building, or you can utilize the valet parking that is included. And that's included as well for your visitors and friends that visit. Residence building and ground maintenance. So when we say residence, that means all of the appliances and anything within your private residence is taken care of and covered by maintenance. So if you have a ice machine that went out, or a light bulb that needs to be changed, you just call our grounds maintenance and we'll take care of that. Comprehensive wellness programs. I know Amy touched on the Wellness Center. You have the recreational, social, and educational programs. That partnership with UConn is included. So not only will you be able to have classes through UConn, both offsite and onsite, and then transportation included. So although many of you are utilizing and bringing your cars, you might not be feeling well one day and you want door-to-door service to a doctor's appointment, or you might want to go on some group outings or programs to the city. There may come a time when you don't want to drive in the evening or don't want to drive, and we have plenty of transportation available to take care of your needs. Additional storage is located on every floor, so you would have sort of a storage area, locker that would fit seasonal items or holiday decorations, things like that. And another factor to consider is property taxes are included, so you no longer are paying property taxes. So that's something to keep in mind when you're totaling up all of the things that are in that one monthly fee. So looking at the monthly fee, the Sono 1-bedroom, 1-bath monthly fee is $65.95. And then it goes up to our largest residences, the New Canaan and Greenwich, is $12,995. So depending on what size residence, it varies of what that monthly fee is between $65.95 and $12,995. If there is a second person in your residence, that monthly fee standard is $1,900 a month, but you have reserved that savings of $100 a month off the second person monthly fee for lifetime. So you'll always be getting $100 off that monthly fee, which as a charter member and reserving now would equate to $1,800 a month. All of this information is in your brochure or binder, I should say, which is a nice size binder, but it's going to have all of these fees associated with all 22 residences. I just want to remind you, the savings in becoming a charter member and putting this plan in place has a pretty significant savings. So for the Roxbury floor plan, we just took the pricing as an example. The total savings for those member benefits is about $150,000, and that is broken down here on a 5% discount of the entrance fee, the extra 5% refundability if you were looking at that 90% refundable plan that is actually 95% for you all, 2 months free, and then that second person monthly fee discount of $100 a month equates to about $12,000 over a 10-year period. And then again, Amy mentioned that $5,000 credit that you'd be getting on any personalization or upgrades to your residence. I will say that the standards that have been selected are more like upgrades. So it certainly would be reasonable that you would not have any upgrades, and you can utilize that for moving costs when you move in. So I want to touch on, before I open it up to questions, how do I become a charter member? You have made the smart decision to join the priority program and be among the first to hear about this before we begin to release this information to the general public. We are giving you the opportunity to reserve a residence in advance, and that reservation process will begin February 5th. So what that means is that we will begin bringing folks in that are interested in reserving a residence from the priority membership group in order of their priority position. We will notify you the week prior when your reservation appointment is, if you are interested in placing a deposit on a specific residence. So we're working with everybody over the next 2 weeks to determine those of you that want to put that plan in place and reserve a residence. Again, the reservation appointments will begin February 5th, and that is in order of your priority position. And at that time, you would become a Mosaic charter member, Mosaic Concierge Living charter member, because you've reserved a residence with that 10% deposit up to $150,000. During that reservation appointment, we would ask that you come prepared with a couple of things. One is your top 3 choices of residences, just in case someone has reserved the one that is your top first or second pick. So when you come in, again, you're coming in order of when you placed that priority membership deposit. We would ask that you bring in the application. It is in your binder. There's a tab that says application, and that gets some financial information. Really, that is used because we want to make sure this is a good financial fit for you. So you bring that that application. At that appointment, you would sign the reservation agreement. We have that in the binder for you, so you'll be able to read through that. And basically what that's doing is showing you that that is completely refundable for any reason prior to moving into the community. At that appointment, you would place the deposit by check, or we can arrange for a wire transfer. You would place that deposit of 10% for the entrance fee up to a maximum of $150,000. Just want to remind you, fully refundable with interest. So for a lot of folks, they're saying, okay, I'm really just transferring that 150,000 from one account to another, and it's still earning interest and working for me. That residence is now reserved under your name at that time, and congrats, you are a charter member. So I want to end before opening up to questions here by saying, you know, we're not asking you to move into Mosaic Concierge Living tomorrow. This is really a matter of taking the next steps to put at least one plan in place for your future. If this plan sounds good to you and might be the right timing, there's a lot of benefits by reserving a specific residence for you and locking in the charter member savings. You may have other plans that might be your backup or might be, you know, plan A, B, and C for your future. This is simply making one plan, putting one plan in place for your future. So I'm going to stop here and we will unmute everyone and ask who has the first question. And I will stop sharing so that we can see you all.
I didn't see any bathtubs. Were there bathtubs?
Bathtubs are part of the personalization process, and you could put a bathtub in. That would be considered an upgrade and would be something that you could do at that time.
Okay.
That personalization process, just to remind you, begins right after shortly after construction begins. Mike?
Yes, is there a portion of the monthly charges tax deductible because it's covering things like property taxes?
Yes, there are, Mike. So the first year that you live in the community, the portion of your entrance fee would also have a deduction. You'd have to talk to your tax preparer about that. We would provide a letter that has the sections and codes and tells you what would be deductible. But every year, you know, as long as the prepaid medical tax is available, you know, barring nothing changes, then a portion of your monthly fees are deductible. I've seen it as high as 48%. And so it just depends on the year for the community, but the finance department would provide that information for each resident that lives in the community. That's a great question.
You?
A question, since this is being done virtually, when you call people in that are out of state, are you doing that virtually as well?
We can, yep, we can do that by Zoom, Les, or so the question was, can we do a virtual appointment? And we can, yes. We can do it by phone, we can do it by Zoom, we can provide the wire transfer information to you. So yes, we have quite a few people that we'll be doing that with.
And how would we know when we come in for the meeting whether or not the unit that we have picked out has not already been selected by the people that are ahead of us?
We would be able to show you the inventory of what's available at the time.
Is any portion of the monthly fee waived if you're gonna be, let's say you're gonna go away for 3 months or 4 months? You still have to pay
Yeah.
the entire month?
Yes. of course.
There is a credit for dining, because you're not utilizing the dining credit. I don't have that exact, figure at this point, but yes, there would be a credit on dining. But other than that, I believe the monthly fee would need to be covered.
Could you describe the transportation more completely? Shuttles to where? I mean, every day? How is that being conceived?
A lot of the operational decisions, such as the locations, will be up to you all, will be up to some of the committees that are developed. The idea is that it would be a 15-mile radius. So there'd not only be group transportation opportunities, but one-on-one opportunities. And the frequency and day of the week and when those transportation options are available, there would be daily transportation. The question of the frequency and where really are up to you all.
Okay, let
Does
me,
the-
we are members of the Senior Choice at Home already, yeah? What impact, if any, does that have on the pricing?
So there's a few choices for people who are members of Mosaic at Home. There is an option to continue with your benefits and you would have that, you'd have the benefit. There's an option to cancel that contract and we would deduct your membership fee that you paid when you joined Mosaic at Home from your entrance fee. But we can talk to you a little bit more.
Yeah, we would
detail on
recommend
your own situation.
we would recommend that you continue it up through then moving it, like at that point, making that decision of if you want to continue with that benefit in addition, or if you would want to apply the membership fee to the entrance fee. So there's a couple of options for you.
A few questions, if you don't mind.
Sure, Arnold.
Does the square footage that you cite include the balcony for those units that have balconies?
No,
No.
And do the manors have balconies? I didn't notice any.
yes.
They do.
Yep, every residence has a balcony or a patio.
And when you make your choices for design elements, are they going to be options for, let's say, appliance upgrades?
Yes.
Or are you forced to use whatever you're putting into the vast majority of units?
You're
You're
not
forced to do anything.
Yeah, there'll be options for upgrades, for example, an induction oven or something like that, stove. So there will be upgrade options for you to choose from.
Thank you.
Quick question. When you reserve a unit, I think I know the answer to this. It's a specific unit. It's not a type of unit. Or
Right.
It's
this floor,
super
this
specific.
orientation. Okay.
Yep.
Yep,
Located.
very specific with your name on it.
I had another question about the refundable criteria. Suppose you've moved in. I didn't quite understand completely on the 3-year, 4-year provisions. So if you're there for 5 years and you have chosen the 95% refundable option, what happens then?
You
Then-
will always, oh, go ahead, Ames, if you'd like.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if you choose a 95% refundable, that is the contract that you're in. So whether you stay at, whether you're the community for 1 year or 15, 20 years, 95% of what you paid when you moved in is refunded back to you or to your estate. The other two options are an amortization option, which will bring it down to the minimum of whatever that refundability is, 50%, or if you chose a 0, then there would be no refund after 4 years.
Sliding scale for the first 4.
I'm sorry, I
I
didn't.
assume-
hear the question.
Sliding, a
Exactly.
sliding scale for the first 4 years, right?
Yes, there is. And we can send you that itemization. I have
Okay.
something that explains it if you'd like it.
Can you send it to everybody rather than just that one gentleman?
Of course, I'd be happy to.
Another question, if you move in and then you have to go into the assisted living section of the Mosaic, are there additional fees for that?
What's that?
If
What was
you-
your question, Les? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
If you're in the Mosaic and then you have to go into the assisted living portion of Mosaic, are there additional fees?
So how the life care works is that should you need a higher level of service, which is assisted living, memory support, or skilled nursing, you would then, whether it's the second person or the first person, you would then go to an equalized rate, which is the average of the independent living residences monthly fee. So, which just as an estimate is around 9,100. And then that's considerable savings, probably up to about 10,000 off what a market rate monthly fee would be for those higher level of service. So you'd essentially go to an equalized rate, which is the average of independent living.
Well, if one person goes to the service and the other person stays in the unit.
So it's added cost.
The second person goes away, the second person fee goes away, and that second person would then pay that equalized rate since they are in a second residence.
So there would be 2 fees.
It would be, right, it would be 2 fees because there's 2 residences.
Sorry,
Jimmy,
do you have a formula yet for how much you will increase the monthly fees on a year-to-year basis? Or is that simply going to be dependent on interest rates or whatever?
Monthly fee increases get determined typically by cost of living increases. So because the monthly fees cover the operational expenses, when things go up, food costs or wages, things like that, then the monthly fees get evaluated so that you are keeping level with the same level of amenities and services. Typical increase is around 3 to 5%, but I will say that because you are a not-for-profit organization and you have a board of directors having oversight of that rather than a for-profit organization that actually is benefited by stockholders, you have more nominal. I would say it's definitely behooves a board of directors. They want to keep those
It's the
increases
average.
as low as possible.
A single person.
So-
Especially if they live there, right?
Exactly.
Especially if they live there, absolutely.
so does the
I know Perry
deposit-
had a question. Yes,
So
Perry.
so the deposit that you're making at this time, is it fair to assume that the interest fees will stay flat? They're guaranteed.
For you, yes.
Until-
When you reserve
Uh,
a residence, that is not increasing. That is correct.
Yeah,
And
and
the,
those are $27 too. that we
okay,
should.
and the monthly operating fee is also guaranteed for this group?
For
at
the
this
year
point?
you move in, yes, that is correct.
I
And do I understand correctly that there's no financial risk at all until you move in? In other words, there's no amount of money that we are putting up now that would be lost or forfeited if there is an issue, one of us dies, or we decide not to move in, or whatever.
That's
You're correct.
correct.
Yes.
There is.
I will-
Right. Can I review something?
Sure, Susan.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I didn't quite get clarity on this issue. If one person has to move into a nursing home and let's say you're paying
the two of you are paying 10,000 a month. Then one person moves into a nursing home. What is the total fee for the two people?
So if your
second-
total monthly fee is 10,000, you would deduct the 1,800 from that 10,000. Because the 1%, you're no longer in a double occupancy. But if somebody's utilizing the health service area, the assisted living, the memory support household, or the skilled nursing household, then that person is paying the health center monthly fee, which is an equalized rate of $9,100 when we first open. So that would
So
increase your monthly
you're
bill.
paying, so the total bill is like 18,000 a month?
Yeah.
It would
Right,
be if
and-
somebody's utilizing the health service area.
Instead of, let's say, 30,000, which is what you would pay if you were in a non-life care community.
This-
Okay, I really misunderstood the business of continuing care retirement community. I thought there wasn't any change in the monthly fee. So I was wrong.
So some life care communities, the monthly fee follows you, and then others go to an average. So it just depends. So like that 91, if you're in a smaller residence, that does go to 91. If you're in a larger, it would go down to 91. So again, each person pays that standard rate of those health services should they need them.
Since there's a requirement that you have to be healthy, wise,
Sorry, I can't hear. There's some background. What was that?
you have a requirement physically, mentally, and financially in order to get into Mosaic. When are you expected to pass those tests if you're giving the down payment now?
So we will financially qualify you when, next month, if you are going to be reserving a residence. What we have decided on is that our charter members, we will medically assess everybody moving in, but we will not medically disqualify people moving in. So that is something that I think is very important to understand that.
Can you explain that? Because I didn't quite follow what you just said.
So if you're moving into a community, an operational community, you have an assessment, which is typically a cognitive assessment to make sure that you're considered independently living. And that is typical. So you could qualify or you may not qualify for the life care benefit, which changes your financial picture on how you receive care, to Susan's point. So as I think if you have joined us for a webinar or presentation previously, we've given examples of what market rate is in today's dollars, which is about $20,000 a month for skilled nursing, about $15,000 for memory support, and about $11,000 to $12,000 for assisted living. Our life care monthly fee is $9,100. It's an equalized rate. So whether you're in the assisted living level or skilled nursing level, you're paying a $9,100 monthly fee, not the $20,000, which is what Ames referred to as that $30,000 monthly fee, which it could be. So going back to Les's question is, how do we medically qualify? We will do assessments. So we have a baseline. So we know that's part of our life care coordination plan, is that we are familiar with you on a health-wise basis. But what we have decided for the first 118 members of our community, which will be charter members, is that because 3 years feels like a long time and everybody's concerned that something may change, we have chosen to not medically disqualify somebody to the life care benefit.
So it's a benefit to you to reserve now because it will mean that you are qualified to move in.
Yeah, that's what okay.
Yeah, you're locking in your eligibility.
Correct.
Absolutely. Exactly, Deborah.
Could I ask a timing question? Suppose you want to remain a charter member, but aren't really ready to move in 2027, but are ready to give you, let's say, the equivalent of the discount
Deposit.
deposit. Can that hold over until you are ready to move in?
It
And would you
cannot.
still- You cannot.
It cannot, no. So if when we open in 3 years and you are not ready to move in, we would say, thank you so much for your support. Here's your money back with interest. And I hope that you visit us when you are ready to move in. So unfortunately, the benefits of the priority and charter membership does not last past our opening date.
So you are estimating that move-in will not be for another 3 years. And presumably, in order to secure a bank construction loan, you have to get a minimum number of units that have already reserved.
Yes.
Do you have any prediction, for example, and when you may break ground?
I could predict a lot, Arnold. I am my goal and our team's goal here, Janice, Sandra, and Shauna, and I, and Ames, is that we will break ground in very early 2025. That is the goal. Hopefully, it's sooner.
That would be the goal of the financing period, and then construction begins shortly after that. So give or take about a year from now. But our goal would be to get those 70% reserved by late this year.
You know,
I appreciate it. I appreciate that, and I think it's those goals are terrific. The question I've got is, what happens if, in fact, there are delays or your goals aren't met? I know that you said that if you're not ready to move in early 2027, you're not rolling that application or that. But if you delay, what happens?
Your price point is secured through our opening timeframe. So if it's delayed, one of the benefits as being a charter member is that you will be very much included. We have a lot of programs, events that we meet with charter members, a monthly newsletter. So you are the first to know of any delays and in the timeline, and that gets updated to you very regularly. But your benefits are secured, and those dollars are in the escrow account secured, earning interest until that point of you making a decision of moving in.
Right. Although, Amy, I'm thinking in terms of if we've made contingent sales on another property that we're moving away from. I mean, things could get complicated. That's why it's important to understand how confident you are with those dates.
I'm feeling very confident to secure the 118 by end of year.
Yep.
That's there's a lot of interest. We've had tremendous response from the past 5 presentations that we've done. We are talking with everybody that has joined us. We will be talking with you all, answering your questions. So we're very excited and very motivated to make sure we're answering all of your questions and moving forward. We will begin appointments on February 5th.
So through that period, because we're talking about through 25, through 24, then 25, and then 26, is there, I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of, I shouldn't assume it. Will there be a lot of transparency on what in fact is happening with the financing, with the construction status and so forth?
Like a window. Yes.
Yes, there's a lot of communication with you as a charter member of what the timing and what's going on, and that communications come several ways, but the newsletter, the monthly newsletter, as well as the regular events that are about every other month that we'll be doing, so that really the goal is to build that sense of community, to keep you engaged, to work with you. You would be provided a personal relocation manager. So real estate trends in the area, downsizing, all those steps to get you ready. and prepared for move-in, but definitely communication around the timing of it all is very transparent.
Is there any documentation other than the form that you want us to fill in that's in the binder? I'm thinking more or less, should I be getting a lawyer ready to look at this?
Joe, it's certainly your choice. We will be including the application for residency, which is a financial disclosure application, the reservation agreement, which will complete at the appointment next month, a draft of the residence and services agreement. That's a draft that will not be completed until move-in. And then we have included our disclosure statement. And it's the disclosure statement of Mosaic Senior Life, the financial health of that organization, since we are not operating at this time. It is absolutely up to you, and supported that you do show it to your attorney. There's nothing that we are concerned about. So a lot of people will show those documents to their attorneys.
There's a lot of information. You can see this binder has all of that in there. The reservation agreement is the only one that you would be signing at this point. The rest of that is at move-in. So
yeah, the application and reservation.
Okay, another question. What happened if after living a few years, you decided to change the unit? There is a life event and I don't want it that big. I wanted a smaller unit.
Okay. So downsize it. So let's say you choose to
Or by the way, during the time of the reservation as well. You reserve a unit and you have a life event and you said, I want it smaller now.
You can.
Yes. So you would let us know, you would communicate with Amy or the resident
executive director. And
well, I think you're asking during the time before move-in. You would let your
both.
Yeah, you would let your sales counselor know before let's say it's prior to move-in, and we could put you on a wait list if we don't have what you want available. And then there'd be internal movement and transfers as that became available if it wasn't already. If you already lived at the community, you could certainly downsize. There wouldn't be a refund on the entrance fee until you leave the campus, but the monthly fee would be adjusted. And that does happen from time to time. So we definitely could work with you on that.
Are you providing any kind of moving assistance benefit for those who choose to purchase?
Yep. So we have contracted with a company called Moving Station, and they are a national relocation company that really focuses on senior relocation. They have a lot of services that they can offer, and we'll be doing some seminars and webinars with them shortly, probably in the spring, for all of our charter members to get to know what their services are. And they can help in home selling and downsizing, estate sales, all kinds of things. But as Ames mentioned, each charter member would be assigned a personal relocation manager to work with over the course of the next few years as we're getting ready to open, and you all are getting prepared to either sell your home or move into the community, whatever your personal situation is.
Just to be clear on what a charter member is, am I correct that it's only those people who were invited to these first looks that have put down the initial, I guess, $1,000, was it, that are called charter members? Because as you continue to market the unit, the facility, then obviously other people might join and say, okay, I'm coming in, can I be a charter member? Or is that out of
Charter members are our first 118 reserved residences. So you all as priority members have the opportunity to select a residence first. If we don't achieve 118 through our priority reservation members, we will be marketing to the general public, and they will have the opportunity to become a charter member too. What they don't have is the opportunity to select the residence before the general public, which is what your opportunity is.
Yeah,
as
so the
well.
118 is the magic number
That is,
dictates all of your calculations for refundability, etc.
it does.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
it dictates our financing approvals and
Yeah.
the beginning of construction.
Just to follow up on that, we are all priority members and have the opportunity to become a charter member.
Yes.
Do you have more than 118 priority members?
We
Okay,
do.
So all of us can become charter member if we so choose.
Yep, if we have
Thank you.
135 charter members, because you're priority members, that's the benefit.
Thank you.
Good point.
That is
Do
a
you
great
have a
question.
question?
I think what we'll do is take one more question, and then we have a poll that we need to take. I'll talk you through the next steps, and then we'll stay on to answer any other questions that anybody has.
If you chose a refundable program, how quickly do you get the refund?
If you choose the 95% or 50%, how that works is on a first in, first out basis. So if you are due a refund because or your estate is due a refund because you have passed, or let's say you've moved to the Bahamas, you'd go into a queue, and as new entrance fees are collected, it triggers refunds. So the benefit of the contract here that's different, I think, from others is that it doesn't have to be on that exact residence. It has to be, it can be on any residence essentially. So the queue, you go into a queue, new entrance fees trigger refunds in the order of those refunds due. Well, up to no more. It's up to a limited time. The state of Connecticut requires a limit and says that it can't be any longer than a 3-year period.
Wow.
It's
And what happens
typically
if
not that long though, but
What happens if we have to sell our house? What happens if we're trying to sell our house? Time-wise, 2027, you're saying is the entrance. I'm stuck with trying to sell my house.
we work very closely with you, the personal relocation manager, and really work with you on that timeline of making sure that it aligns. So I think the only difference or challenge is if you're holding a residence and say you haven't listed your home and it's been several months since we opened, then we're probably going to want you to make a decision like, are you going to list it? Are you going to make movement to move in, or do you want us to release this residence and refund you the deposit plus interest? So that decision would have to be made at that time. But as long as there's an attempt to sell it, we usually work with you.
I have a question about the manor buildings. What's the concept? Do you think of it as two different communities? What's your perception of how you read the manor buildings versus the main building?
So we feel like the manor buildings are for people who want a little bit more of a private atmosphere, a little quieter, perhaps feeling a little more of an independence level. Even though it is, you are part of the manor buildings are part of the community, they're just a little set off from the main building. Not too far. It's not like they're like a mile away. They're like 300 feet away from the main building. But it is for people who kind of want to be a little bit more in that secluded area and not within the mainstream of the main building. So that is how we're viewing the manor buildings.
Or that, you want essentially a floor plan that has that dual exposure, several exposures. And maybe another floor plan in the main building doesn't offer you that. So it could be a floor plan decision. It could be a more secluded decision. It really varies, but yeah, all one community and campus.
Is there an
Steve, I know you
underground or
have one
covered
more question.
connection
Steve
from one
Schreier,
building
I
to
know
the
you
other?
have one more question.
I did.
Sorry,
I know you've been trying to answer a question, and we will stay on post the questionnaire, but Steve, why don't you let us get your question answered? I'd like to do the questionnaire and for respect of other people's times, and we can stay on for as long as we get all your questions answered. But Steve, why don't you go ahead and then we'll put the questionnaire up and it'll give you an opportunity to let us know where your intentions are. So go ahead, Steve.
Thanks. Could you describe the process of going from independent to assisted living? How is that done?
Sure, I can. So if for some reason somebody needed higher level of care, independent memory support or skilled, then I think we talked about it, then if one person needed it, that one person could move up to the health center to whatever level of care is needed. And then the person, the part of the couple that stays can stay in the independent living residence. The fee adjusts to that health center monthly fee. The second person fee in the independent living drops off. So that would be the transition. If the person in the independent living residence wanted to downsize, we could certainly arrange that if there's availability to downsize to a smaller residence to kind of save some costs on that.
Thanks, Anne. But I really, I didn't ask my question properly. What I really meant is kind of medically, how is the assessment made that someone should be?
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
Appropriate to move
So
from
your doctor is making those decisions for you. You're going to keep your doctors and physicians, personal doctors and physicians. We will collaborate in a care plan environment. If something's happening and that needs attention, your life care coordinator would be involved with that. And that's why it's important to form that relationship when you first move in. It's not going to be something you have to touch base with them once a week. It's probably once a year, maybe twice a year. But so they get to know you as a member of the community and being able to, and then also the benefit of being in the community is that there's people like myself and Janice and Sandra and Shauna who work there on a day-to-day basis. And we've worked with you from today on, and we get to know you. We get to build that relationship also. So if for some reason you and I pass in the hallway and we've always joked around and suddenly there was your behavior wasn't consistent with normal, I would be able to, I know that. I get to know that. That's my privilege of working in the community that you live in. And so we could actually say to our wellness, life care coordinator, can you just do a well check on Mr. Schreier? He just didn't seem himself today and maybe he's not feeling well. Can you just touch base with, him and Deborah to see if everything's okay? So that right there is that oversight. And I've done that. I've worked in operational communities and I have actually done that. And it's something that is very valuable because we're kind of like those boots on the ground, so to speak. So, if there's, your family lives away and, they're going to see you at holidays and they're gonna be like, what happened? And why didn't anybody tell us? That's not going to happen at this community. That's not the way it works. So the personal relationships that you have with the staff that work at the community is just as valuable as the personal relationships you build within these people that are on this screen right now. So that's kind of that. I hope that was a long-winded answer. So sorry.
Good answer.
It's a little heartfelt. I feel very, very heartfelt about this because I've worked in this environment for over 12 years.
All right, we're gonna move into the poll. This is a really important part of the process. Remember, you're getting these overnighted to you, these binders with all of the information you need. But following all of these sessions, we have asked and launched the same questionnaire, whether it's in person or over Zoom. And this poll helps us know what your intention is or indication of your interest at this point. We know that you need to take a look at everything and really look at it all in depth. But there's 4 questions. Can you see this?
Yes.
Amy? Okay. So the questions are, and I'm going to give you the 4 options, and then I'm going to ask you to fill it out. Based on what you've heard today, what is your intention at this time? The first option would be if you're fairly certain you're going to want your reservation appointment by your priority placement and number, mark number 1, so that we can plan on knowing that you want that reservation appointment or either on Zoom or in person. You still may have questions before we begin those on February 5th. Second option is you've got to look it over and you know you're going to have questions for Amy or Janice or Sandra or Shauna, and you're going to want to talk through this and make a decision over the next 2 weeks so that we know by January 29th if we should include you in that reservation appointment in order. The third option is if you know for a fact you're not going to be reserving a residence by your priority number and priority order, then what we will do is we're going to skip your reservation appointment and number. We'll come back to you at the end and give you one more opportunity to take advantage after we go to all the priority folks in order of their priority placement and give you an opportunity before we process the refund of that $1,000 deposit you've paid. And then the fourth option, which we hope isn't an option, but we certainly understand you signed up to get this information first. You have this information. If you know that Mosaic Concierge Living is not for you now or in the future, we can go ahead and process a refund on your $1,000 deposit. Just know that by refunding you at this time, it's giving up your priority placement as well as the benefits that you've secured. So if you know that it's not for you and you're not going to be moving forward, you can select number 4 and we'll process a refund for you. So just take a few moments. Arnold, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Obviously, you're going to approach people who want to be approached in the order in which they plunk down the $1,000, right?
Right.
So
Correct.
if somebody is way up in the numbers and they say, my first 3 choices are these, will the person in your organization that I am speaking to can tell me at that time whether any of those units have already been requested? Because
During your
otherwise, we get the point, of course. What is the turnover rate in terms of information about when you know whether or not any of your choices are feasible?
We won't know until your reservation appointment because we will have back-to-back reservation appointments. So when your reservation appointment time is, then we will be able to tell you what's available, give you other options, and if your first choice is not available, we can start that internal wait list so that if you reserve your second choice, but you want to be notified if that first choice comes available, we will begin that process. So we will know at your reservation appointment exactly what is available.
Okay.
And you will have the opportunity to reserve something at that time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a very fair process, but this structure is really a tight timeline, and we know that you may have questions over the next couple of weeks.
So, sorry, if one chooses the second option, will it be on you to contact us, or do we have to contact you?
We will be reaching out to you within probably the next couple of days. We're working our way through those folks that have marked number 2 to get all of their questions answered so that they know if they want to be included in those reservation appointments or not.
And if I might,
we'll find you, Arnold.
if I might just say hello to Mike Borkowski, an old friend who I haven't seen in 100 years. Hey, Mike.
All right, so did everybody fill out an answer? If you could take a moment, I think there's still a few of you that need to mark it. If you haven't, select 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that will help us. And all right, I'm going to end the poll right now.
I'm sorry, I only saw 3 on our screen. You keep saying 4. What's the 4th one?
The fourth one says Mosaic Concierge Living is not for me now or in the future. Do you see that?
Well, mine's gone now, so
Oh, okay. I don't,
I thought that was a third one, but anyway, sorry.
it's all right. Which one did you mean to mark? And we'll make sure.
No, we
marked
marked,
what we meant to.
we marked the one that we meant to. I just didn't see
Okay.
the,
Okay. All right, we will stay on. This concludes the presentation. Again, you'll get this big, beautiful binder to peruse through on your dining table. I'm sure you'll have lots of floor plans laid out and will be available over the next few weeks.
I just
One-
wanted to come back to a question that I wanted to ask before we got into the poll about the manor. Is the manor
Yes.
connected in either underground or some other way, so that we don't have to walk through the snow, which is now falling in Connecticut, as I understand it?
Yes, it is falling in Connecticut, Joe, down in Florida. Yes, the manors are connected through an underground corridor through the parking garage level, the terrace level on the main building, and the underground parking garage level in the manor building. It'll bring you right to an elevator bank that'll bring you right up to the main building, to the level 1.
Roughly
Can I
how,
just ask
they thank you and get off.
All right,
Can I ask
Michael, go ahead.
something about the nature of the nursing home facility? It's going to be in the same complex?
Yep.
And
It is. So
and
that's
just
the
to find
benefit of a
out-
life plan community, is that all care levels are located right on campus.
Okay, that's a wonderful thing. And then just to find out, get some idea what it's going to be like, would it be okay to visit the Bridgeport facility and to get an idea of what it's like? So,
You could, but it's going to be a completely separate entity. I don't know. I mean, the care level, the care that we take to provide care to residents at the Bridgeport facility is exceptional and would be mirroring, our guidelines would be mirroring what we do. As far as aesthetics, Susan, I don't have the layout of that, but you know,
no, I don't
could-
mean the fanciness of the fanciness.
Well, I
of
think
the
it'll be a
facility,
very
just
beautiful health center, but you could get an idea of what a
of how it runs,
household,
of how it
what the
runs.
household model looks like. We could certainly arrange to do that.
Thanks.
Michael, I know you had a question, Mike Borkowski.
I have a question. If I'm at a different
Just a moment,
location,
Mr. Coleman, just one moment, because Mike had a question. I'll get right back to you.
okay,
yeah, you mentioned 300 feet. Is that about the distance from the manors to the main building, roughly?
Roughly. I don't have the scaled plans with me right now, so the dimension of that space, it is roughly about 300 feet between the two buildings.
A block and a half, roughly.
A buck and a half.
A block and a half. 200
A
feet.
block and a half. Oh, I thought you said a buck and a half. That would be like my father-in-law
field.
talking.
A football stadium.
football field.
I think it's probably a little smaller than a football
Yeah.
field, but but you know, just the campus is a park-like setting with walking paths through beautiful landscaped gardens and trees and grass and everything. So it's not a block of cement. We are not building a block of cement. We're building a beautiful park outside. So Mr. Coleman, you had a question?
yes, if I'm at a different location now and you're starting to mail out packets, how can I tell you, what's the best way for me to tell you my present location?
I will have Shauna reach out to you to get your current address, where you are, where we should email it, where we should mail it to you for tomorrow delivery.
She'll do that by email or phone or text or what?
What would you like to, Shauna, will you give Mr. and Mrs. Coleman a call?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Is this a gated community with, is there a gated entrance to the building to the?
There
from
is
the-
not, there is not a gated entrance.
Will there be somebody at the front in the building 24/7 at the main entrance to the building?
There will be security 24/7 where they, the night security, that night third shift, 11 to 7 typically patrols the community. So, and then I would assume that those doors would be locked if, after 11. So there wouldn't be entry. Typically, the health service area is open for 24 hours a day, but again, like that may, depending on the outside access to it. So still a little unknown, but there will be 24/7 security on campus.
You will have access as a Mosaic member with like a fob to get in and out. But like if your guests
Yeah.
came and it was 11 p.m., then they would bring security.
Any other questions that we can help with before we all sign off? Mr.
I have
Hursley?
one. Yes, the $75,000, that's the extra person in
Yeah.
the apartment. Do you get any part of that refunded if I have to go? You get that back?
That is
If I-
all part of your 95% refundable.
But if I am moved in to the assisted living and I'm no longer living in the apartment with my husband, I am not the second person. I don't get the $75,000 back.
Not at the time. The contract states that on the entrance fee, that is refunded when the contract is canceled. And that means whether you have moved out of the community and moved to Florida, or if you have lived your life out at the community and you have and both have passed away, that would cancel the contract.